then has his neck broken by Raccoon. Keep in mind, at this point, he's 5! Gohan is Goku's son, and the first Saiyan-human hybrid. From the very beginning of Z, we are shown the unbelievable potential of hybrid Saiyans, and while watching Gohan fight is always enthralling, it's really easy to forget that he is literally a small child. He's 4 when Raditz shows up, 5 during the invasion of the Saiyans, as well as the Namek arc. He's 6 when Mecha Frieza and King Cold show up. He's 9 after the 3-year time skip when the androids show up, and 10 during the Cell fight, after his stint in the Room of Spirit and Time. Quick disclaimer here, in the anime, they celebrate Gohan turning 11 since he didn't have a birthday party in the time chamber. But this is anime-only filler and is not backed up in the manga, as the exact date of Gohan's birthday is unknown, and based on the time skips that were shown, he's most likely 10, but at most on the cusp of turning 11. To put this all into perspective, at the beginning of Dragon Ball, Goku was 12. I repeat, he was 12. So Gohan had almost 7 years of battle experience and became an ascended Super Saiyan before Goku was even the age he left his grandpa's house to first go Dragon Ball hunting. While many fans were disappointed to see Gohan put fighting far behind his ambitions as a scholar and a family man, I gotta say, all in all, this was a pretty good outcome, considering the unbelievable amount of trauma he suffered since he was first able to form coherent sentences. Gohan has experienced countless events that each individually would have left most people scarred for life. So why don't we just speed run the most traumatic events of Gohan's childhood so we can better appreciate how he turned out. So let's put a nice little counter up here as we do the childhood trauma lightning round. Here we go. Gohan is kidnapped by his uncle after witnessing said uncle brutally assault his father. He later sees Raditz and his father both die. Not to mention he participated in killing a man for the first time. He gets kidnapped by his father's arch nemesis, who exposed him to all sorts of horrific traumas. All in order to prep him for fighting aliens so strong they can erase cities with a flick of the wrist. He witnessed Yamcha's death. He sees Tien be horrifically mutilated. He sees Chaozu go all Pearl Harbor on Nappa, and sees Tien follow him right after. He's almost murdered by Nappa, only to witness his now trauma-bonded to mentor die right in front of him. He watches Vegeta callously murder his own comrade, as well as break every bone in his father's body. His mother makes him get a bowl cut. He and Krillin leave Earth to go across the universe, trapped in a ship for a month with a thought. Upon arriving on Namek, he witnesses space Nazi land sharks committing atrocities against the locals, sparing no one. Not elders, nor children. He also takes a hard knee to the gut after being diddled by Vegeta, then diddled by Goldo, then has his neck broken by Raccoon. Keep in mind, at this point, He's 5! He also watches his dear friend Krillin be brutally gored by Frieza, and goes berserk on the tyrant. And hey! Look at that! Krillin's actually alive! Never mind. Oh, and while he did end up living, as far as Gohan knew, his father died horrifically on an alien planet. He also had to deal with Frieza and Cold coming to Earth to kill everyone, only to be stopped by Trunks. You know, that cool guy who told everyone that androids would come along in the future and kill almost everyone Gohan cares about. When Gero showed up with his fat juggalo boyfriend, they started killing random civilians to draw out Goku. Not to mention Gero absolutely hand-mandled Yamcha. And after an evil man-sucking bug monster shows up, Gohan loses a whole year of his childhood spent in an alternate dimensional void. And after a good old-fashioned boy pounding by said bug monster, Gohan is forced to witness the death of the kindest ginger to ever walk the earth. Which at that point, I imagine he just recalls all of the trauma he's been exposed to over the course of his stolen childhood and finally snaps. And much like many troubled kids his age, he starts by taking out his aggression by inflicting pain and death upon many weaker insects, only to be a victim of his own hubris and have to watch helplessly as his father goes to die, also taking King Kai with him, only to find out it was all for nothing, but in fact only made Cell stronger. But thankfully, Gohan at the tender age of 10 was finally able to kill someone all by himself. This is by no means every individual instance of childhood trauma Gohan experienced, as I don't want this video to be 3 hours long, but let's just stop to appreciate how Gohan managed to keep his psyche mostly intact through all of this. I'm really glad he decided to go the Bruce Wayne route with processing his trauma and not the pumped up kicks route. Cause just think of how strong Dragon Ball characters are. Even Yamcha. If Yamcha has just one bad day, everyone dies. And if Gohan goes postal, well, there goes the galaxy. So maybe we should be thankful Gohan became an entomologist and not the living incarnation of Shiva. But anyway, as usual, let me know what you think. What was your favorite traumatic moment? Did I miss anything important? Or does psychoanalyzing cartoon characters just make me a cringy nerd? I'd love to know. Catch you next time.
Well, when I was a toddler, my uncle showed up, kidnapped me, and then Mr. Piccolo killed him and my dad. Then Mr. Piccolo kidnapped me, the Saiyans showed up, killed a bunch of people, including Mr. Piccolo. Then we went to Namek, a bunch more people died, we came back, then my dad died again, then all my friends died, and now everyone else is dying.